How's it going, Cannabis community? Welcome back to Cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy. I am the Cannabis Cowboy, and this is my strain spotlight, where I go over various strains from the greater Denver and Lakewood area. Mostly it's going to be from Good Chemistry because that's my home dispensary, but I've been contacted by a couple in the area asking if I would do a couple spotlights on some of their house strains. So hopefully in the next week or so I'll be getting some nice nugs from different places to kind of show you folks a variety of nugs. Regardless, Good Chemistry always has top of the line quality cannabis, so I'm never worried about spotlighting any of their strains. They're ridiculous. And so is this one in particular, Elmar. I haven't tried this one before, but I'm anxious to try it because it's another one of those sort of the sour diesel mixes that I don't love. I don't love sour diesel. I don't really love the flavor of it. I know that's crazy. I'll probably get a lot of shit from folks about that, but sour diesel is not a flavor I've loved historically. But sour kush I have loved. So really anything you mix with kush I'm going to be okay with. It takes a little bit of that diesel flavor away, which is definitely the one part of it that I don't love. There's a couple strains that I stay away from, like Flow, that have a heavy black licorice smell and flavor to it that I don't always love. So I'm anxious to kind of try this one out. But as you can see, it's a little bit lighter than you would expect to be mixed with a Purple Mayhem. It definitely looks more than a sour diesel than it does Purple Mayhem. But we're going to get an up close look here in just a second, and I can show you folks just a little bit of darkness that's in there. But as you can see on the screen, 21% THC, pretty good. For a hybrid, that's sort of normal, I guess. I'm finding some indicas, or what we're calling indica or relaxant weeds, or cannabis, are usually leaning a little bit lower, sometimes a 17, 18. I could not tell you what a 20% THC high feels like versus a 25% THC high. I don't know if I'm that sensitive enough to do that. I can tell you the scents and flavors between the both, but the feeling I don't necessarily know that I would tell you. So I think as long as I'm somewhere near 16% or higher, I think I can be okay. I've enjoyed like a super sour alien or purple alien dog that it's as low as 11%, and they've still done what it needed to do for me. So I don't always buy the percentage, but it's definitely something that needs to be shown to the consumer. So at this point, we're dealing with a 21% THC hybrid, which is not a problem for me. As you can see, I've got my clean piece right next to it so I can get some good flavor from it when I do decide to sample it for you folks. I don't want to get any, obviously don't want any old resin in there. That's just silly. It'll totally ruin the first experience of this cannabis. So as we always call this, the green hit is sitting here waiting for me. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the nugs right now too. Give me one moment while I unfocus myself and refocus this beautiful nug from Good Chemistry, South Broadway. All right, as you can see, nice light color. If we get a little closer, and I don't necessarily want to do it with this camera, it sort of blurs out, but you can see just sort of light blue, purple in there, which the Mayhem is coming through just a little bit, but visually it seems to fully maintain its sour diesel look. So, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And as usual, the folks over at Good Chemistry know exactly what to do when it comes to trimming, when it comes to curing. Their boss. So I'll go ahead and put this beautiful nug bowl under here, and let's get a quick sample going here. Again, you can smell sour diesel. You can't get away from it. It doesn't really matter unless you have sort of a 3 or 4-way mix where you're sort of bogging down that flavor. You're going to always taste sour diesel, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to mind it here simply because of the Purple Mayhem. A little bit of a burn, actually pretty smooth. What's crazy is I'm getting a little citrus right now. A little bit of citrus, absolutely zero sour diesel flavor on the burn hit. As I said before, you can smell it on the dry hit, on the nug itself. If I were to be rolling a joint right now, I would take a dry hit from it just to get a really, really good sense of what the flavors are, the deep richnesses of the flavors. And I know if I had rolled one, I would definitely get a little bit of the sour diesel, but that Purple Mayhem is pushing through pretty well. Initial feeling is a little bit of heaviness between my eyes, which a lot of indicas sort of reach through the sativas to catch me. I am super receptive to indicas, but as I can tell right now that this is not going to be one of those hybrids that's going to make me tired. It's going to keep me awake, and I'm definitely going to be able to function on it. but it's one of those. It's another one of those hybrids from Good Chemistry that is just amazing. Amazing for me to try and go back to the bar and hit another one here. Oh, beautiful. It really is nice. And again, I'm not getting a lot of that sour diesel flavor that would sort of turn me off a tiny bit, but not enough to be angry at any cannabis whatsoever. At any rate, folks, give me just a second to kind of tell you about my Patreon. If you go to Patreon/Cannabis Cowboy, show your support for me if you can. I've got 3 different tiers. I've got the seedling stage, I've got mid-grow, and I've got full harvest. Seedling stage is just kind of keeping the soil in the water, or the water in the soil, my apologies, and just sort of helping out, keeping all the equipment. You guys have upgraded my equipment greatly for the Patreons that I have, the patrons that I have. You folks have been doing a great thing for me. If you can, if you've got a minute, please do support me. As you see right below, patreon.com, Cannabis Cowboy. I've got all kinds of crazy swag coming in, a lot of different things that I'm going to be giving away during the course of my career here. I wanted to thank all you folks for supporting me. And if you are in the Denver area and you are anywhere near South Broadway, please go check out Good Chemistry South Broadway. Tell them Bob the Cannabis Cowboy sent you. They'll probably throw you a fat cone for doing so. They're amazing people over there. And as it stands right now, this Elmar strain is really, really nice. I want to thank Good Chemistry for hooking me up. It's definitely one of those strains that I think I'm going to be able to smoke on a consistent basis during the day, where I know that even if I smoke it at night, I could probably use the properties of the indica that are in it to kind of help me go to sleep. But the sour diesel's not going to make it as easy for you as you want it, because that's the way sour diesel works. It's a nice uplifting sativa that I don't always enjoy, really. But at any rate, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. It helps out a great deal. And as soon as I start getting some deeper flowers, I'm growing an Aurora indica grow right now. I'm going to show you folks a little bit closer look at that. I'm going to go through the harvest. I'm going to go through the curing, all of that with you folks. So thank you so much for tuning in to Cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy and my strain spotlight for the week. Go ahead and check out Elmar if you can. And as always, keep growing.